Hello, Facebook family. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Again, this afternoon, and wherever you are, whether it's evening or it's morning or it's the next day. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very, very grateful. Please, as you have joined, if you can take a few minutes of your time and share the video so that people will be able to watch it later, those who cannot join us. But once again, thank you so much for joining us. If you have been following us, we've been talking about some very, very interesting things from last month to this month. And last week we spoke about anything about sex, because last month was how we are able to sustain the blessing that God have given to us as couples, sustain it. So then we jump into this month with the sex aspect, because it's very, very important in our life when you are married to really enjoy your husband or your wife, because even the Bible says that. So last week we spoke about it. If you miss it, it will be very good to go back and watch it. It's also on my YouTube, so you can go to Victoria Creppy, search for Victoria Creppy, and if you go there, it will be there so that you can watch it. But thank you so much for joining me again today. We're still talking about sex today. And I told you last week, I was laughing at myself, that if you see me a little bit tense, then you know that this Sister Holu here don't want to talk about sex to the whole world. But it's very, very important. And the purpose of this show is to empower, to influence, and to make each other better. You making me better, I also want to trust God and make you better. So I want to talk about it, although I don't feel 100% comfortable talking about it to the whole world. But I want to talk about it because it will help somebody. It will sustain somebody's marriage. It's very, very important. So we have to address that. And sometimes, especially as Christians, we see that, it's on non-touched area, and still people are suffering. Majority of divorce, separation, breakup, and all those things, you can trace it to lack of sex, lack of intimacy, showing love, and all those things. So it's something very important that we have to talk about. And I have the privilege, my sister is here again, Pastor Nana, to join me. That is her field, so she can come in with a medical aspect, and that will really help you. You even know how important it is on your own medical health to have sex, okay? Because that's kind of like exercise. You can have a whole boot camp of sex. It will help you. And also my husband is here, and he's also going to help me. So it's going to be a very wonderful show. So please share the video with somebody. Tag somebody to come in. It will really bless their life. And we have some few questions from last week. So we will try and answer those questions from last week. Then we will start the show. So please, if you have any question, you can just type it out there, and we will try as much as possible to answer all your questions before we finish today, if we can. So thank you so much once again for joining me. Pastor, welcome again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Bishop,
Hey.
thank you for
I'm alive and well, and I'm here. Thanks
Yes.
to Jesus.
Amen. So the first question that came in my inbox is it okay to have oral sex with your partner? Is it okay? Some people will say that the anointing died when they do that. Some people say that they don't feel clean, they don't feel holy when they do that. Some people say it's even not healthy when they do that. But I know that aspect of our body is actually the most cleanest part of our body. People don't know. But so me, I know that there's nothing wrong with it. But that was a question that was the first question that we received. So I will start with you. Is it okay for us to have oral sex with our partners?
First of all, oral sex is sex.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the goal of having sex is to have a satisfiable sex.
Okay.
Meaning that the man or the woman being fulfilled, feeling feeling satisfied. And because God has uniquely created each and every one of us, we are all different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our anatomy is different.
Okay.
So what may feel good for one person may not feel good for the other person. But remember, the ultimate goal is feeling satisfied.
Okay.
So if the husband or the wife wants to do something that is not pleasing or that is not satisfiable for the partner, then other options need to be explored.
Okay.
And in this case, oral sex is another option
Okay.
that can also bring about an orgasm. So
Okay.
it is not a bad thing, it's actually a good thing. I believe that it adds more spice
to
to
the whole game.
the whole game, exactly.
It's not because most of the time, you see, they call it missionary, and it's like you come and you just lie down there. It's the everyday one position and all those things. Bishop,
Yeah.
what do you have to say?
First of all, we want to clarify whether it's okay for you as a Christian to do or have oral sex. Number one, any subject that the Bible is silent on, it makes you to understand that God doesn't have an issue with it. And what God have issues with, God has specified it
Okay.
in the scriptures. Okay, so you can see that when you read your Bible, anything God forbids in regards to sex has been spelled out. You read Leviticus, you come into even the New Testament, Proverbs, and all of that. It makes us to understand. When you take your time to read the Songs of Solomon, a lot of Bible scholars have taken their time to be able, because they believe that the Song of Solomon is one of the romantic books you can ever read,
Yeah.
which transpired, they believe it transpired between Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. And somebody believed that, or I've heard a man of God espouse on that to explain that when the Queen of Sheba was describing that, and you came into my garden and my quivers, he's talking about oral sex and all of that. I believe personally that when it comes to oral sex, one, God doesn't have any problem with it.
Okay.
Based on what anybody and everybody, how you were raised up, the culture, you know, even how we were educated about sex.
Yeah.
And in trying to instill fear in our children not to practice in illicit sex, we tell them we can't even mention the name vagina and penis and all of that. And even when you hear what Pastor Victoria said, even the host feeling uncomfortable to talk about it. But I believe that it's a very important subject that every one of us should be able to feel comfortable to talk about it. And oral sex falls within the gray areas of sex that usually people feel uncomfortable to talk about.
Okay.
But I will tell you this, okay? If you and your spouse are okay with it, okay, I will not encourage you, if your spouse is not comfortable with something, you force them to get into it. That becomes an abuse.
Okay.
So if the man is okay with it, and if the woman is okay with it, then I don't see what should forbid you. Because if you look at the scriptures, the Bible is very specific about the kind of sex we can have. For instance, it forbids incest.
Yeah.
It forbids homosexual sex and all of that. So everything that God, bestiality, the Bible forbids it. But when it comes to heterosexual sex, a man and a woman having sex, the Bible never specifies. Where in the Bible do you read where it tells you you should have sex by having a missionary style or this style? It doesn't talk about that.
Okay.
So what you and your wife do in the bedroom, it's up to the two of you. And it should be based on what you both are comfortable with.
That's the key word.
Okay.
If the woman is comfortable with it and the man is comfortable with it, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. Please, if you are joining us, thank you so much for joining. Please share the video. We are talking about everything about sex. Okay, and these are some of the questions that came in last week. If oral sex is okay, I think, as Bishop says, it's really between the couples. There's nothing wrong. The Bible didn't say it's wrong. So you have to make sure your partner is enjoying.
Before you go on, I didn't finish. I want to go on with that because the Bible likened, okay, the marriage to the relationship that Jesus had with the church. Okay. And for me, the Bible said that Jesus loved the church so much that he died for the church.
Okay.
And if the whole purpose and intent of having sex, and again, last week we said we're going to take a little bit to look at the purposes of sex. Number one, sex is for recreation and procreation. Okay? The two main purposes of sex, one is for procreation. Okay, so let's say me and my wife, we ask God for 3 children. We give birth to our 3 children. Does that mean that we can't have sex no more?
No, yeah.
No, because sex is not just for procreation. Yeah. Procreation is when you are having sex with the intent of wanting to conceive and give birth to children.
Okay.
So after you have given birth to your children, what next? So sex is not just for procreation, it's also for recreation. And recreation has to do with enjoyment.
Enjoyment, wow.
And so now, if now that, okay, we just get married and you go on honeymoon.
Okay.
I mean, I don't advise that when you get married, straight away you want to get impregnated. Both of you have to explore each other, get to know each other, enjoy each other before children begin to come in. And so when, at that moment, you are now going to have what we call recreational sex. It's for enjoyment, it's for excitement, it's getting to know one another. And at that time, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you can do to make sure that your wife or your husband enjoys the sexual act, you have to do it. And some people, and I think Pastor Nana last week explained that usually women, it takes them longer time, and what makes women have orgasm is totally different from men.
Okay.
And sometimes just the act of penetration and the direct intercourse doesn't help some women to have orgasm. And when you interview, and I think you even mentioned it, that some women said they have never known what is called orgasm.
Yeah. So it makes sex like a punishment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you are wondering why some women don't want to have sex. Okay? So we have to take our time. And these are gray areas that because of wrong doctrinal teachings and things that we don't know that have been brought to us and cultural influences, you think, oh, why should I even do this? Why should I do it? I will not tell you what I do or I don't do. But what it makes you comfortable, what you think that, hey, listen, I need to please my wife, I need to please my husband. What can I do to make my wife or my husband enjoy the sex? Go ahead and do that. And that is not a sin.
Okay.
Because sometimes that's what at the back of people's mind. Based on what people have said. I remember I was counseling some couple, and the people asked me a question. They said, if what they call doggy style in the sexual act, a man of God told them that you can't do that. If you do that, it's a sin and you are offending God.
Oh.
I said, where is that in the Bible? Somebody should show me.
Okay.
And they couldn't show me. And I said, if it's not in the Bible, then God is not against it.
Okay. Yeah. So because that's the next question. The next question is, like, she was a virgin. Now, let me put it this way. She was a virgin. When she gets married, she didn't really know much. So after getting married, is it okay to educate themselves? No, because both of them was like they did green. And even if they were not green, is it okay to educate themselves? Like get books, that have maybe stars inside that will tell you, turn this way, push this way. Like get books that will show you, or can they watch videos together to just educate themselves? It's not like they want to watch porn or anything like that, but they just want to educate themselves. Is it okay? Is it not the same? Because then she says that the Bible says the bed undefiled or something like that. So why should they bring, those things in their bedroom? But she was asking, is it okay, Pastor?
I believe what the Bible says, for lack of knowledge, my people perish.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so it doesn't only mean the word of God, for all kinds of knowledge.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
So, for example, if you don't know that you have a headache, you
Mm.
can take Tylenol.
Yeah.
You can die.
Mhm.
Or you can go to the hospital.
Yeah.
You can die.
Wow.
So I believe that as a new couple, it's okay for them to you just have to make sure you get a reputable book.
Okay.
I mean, a book from someone that you can trust,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
so that you can use that to educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
You can see someone that is well knowledgeable
Okay.
in that area to help. And also, you can also take time, like I said, aside from reading the book, you still have to practice.
Yes.
Because everybody's anatomy is different.
Different. Okay.
You know, we all, if you're a female, most female will have breast, vagina, and everything else. At the same time, we're all different.
Mm-hmm.
The way we look is different. Even twins, there's
Okay.
something different about them that distinguishes them.
Okay.
So I'm saying that to say that because our anatomy is different, what may feel good for one person may not feel good for the other person. So at the end of the day, after you have equipped yourself and you have read, you still have to put it into practice to learn the things that you've learned, which part of your body feels better than the other part,
Okay.
and so forth.
All right.
You know, so I
Yeah.
think that ultimately you still have to practice and
Okay.
explore each other's body.
That's perfect. So Bishop, is it wrong?
You see my book titles, and this one has come out. I'm
Okay.
working on these. I'm working on it. Sex.
Yeah.
What is sex? The twofold purposes of sex. Sex in its context. Types of sex. Sexual positions and styles. How to enjoy sex. Love,
Wow.
the key to a healthy sex.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's yet to
When
come.
is it coming out?
When it comes out, I'll let you know.
That would be nice book. That would be hot to
Yeah.
take. So Bishop, is it okay to watch videos, read a book, do all those things? Is it okay?
I will use a caution here.
Okay.
And when it comes to videos,
Mm-hmm.
because you see, you don't want to open what they call a Pandora box, and then now you begin to, in the search and quest of trying to find educational material,
Okay.
you end up to go watch a pornography.
Okay.
A lot of people do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's unchristian, it's ungodly.
Okay.
I do not subscribe to that, and I will not encourage
Mm-hmm.
anybody to go watch pornography to try to, spice their relationship. For me as a Christian, it's a no-no.
Okay.
However, there are educational books, sex books with positions, and it's been described. They describe what the positions are.
Okay.
Those are, and they are pictures, and it's not graphic. For instance, I have a book here I use for counseling, and this is a book from Bishop Dag, The Model Marriage. All right, and right here, I don't know if our cameraman can be able to zoom in. Hold on 1 minute. It has sex where it shows you types of sex and then the positions and what have you. Okay, are you able to zoom in there? This one, for instance, is showing you the styles, and it writes there how to do it and how to perform it. Okay, and this is not graphic.
Okay.
This is more like animated one. Any information you can get,
Okay.
I'm talking about clean information. I have a book that I read a lot and research when it comes to, I'm coming to do marriage seminar, we are coming to talk intimacy, and all. I do a lot of sex education for couples. This coming Saturday, I have another one coming. So I research, I read,
Yeah.
both medical wise and spiritual wise, because like I said, the Bible is very silent when it comes to sex. It talks about, and Abraham knew Sarah, and Elkanah knew Hannah.
Okay.
That's the way
That's
he used.
the-
Yes.
Bishop,
right?
somebody
That
told
is
me
the whole
about
thing.
this. One of my best friend
Yeah,
actually told me about this,
Mhm.
and she said it's time to talk about these things. So what does it mean when they say Abraham and
Knew,
Sarah?
Yes.
What is that?
Yes.
I think that's all those things that really kind of cause a little bit, like Abraham. And we all know at the back of our mind, that they have sex.
Yeah.
So why didn't the Bible say sex?
That was what I'm saying, that the Bible is silent on those things.
Okay.
Okay? And you should also understand that the culture in which they wrote it at that time. Okay? And number two, but we understand when and Abraham knew, and Sarah took seed. You can't just know somebody and do this. Yes. So the Bible is silent on that. Because whatever you do in the context of your marital room, it doesn't matter. Okay? And like the Bible said, the bed undefiled. Just make sure that what you are doing there is not demeaning to the woman or the man you are sleeping with. Okay? Now, whatever turns the two of you on and you are comfortable with, it's okay. So for me, educational material, you know, you go to Barnes and Noble, they have those educational material. When you go, there's a whole section where it talks about sex education and family planning and all of that. You can go there and go and read that. Because if even you don't know family planning, then you see, somebody said, I'm afraid to have sex because I don't want to be pregnant. There's things you do. There are educations you can have, and you can have a recreational sex without getting pregnant. All these things have to be taught. Because when people are ignorant, if you're not careful, then every 2 minutes you are getting pregnant. Every 2 minutes you are getting pregnant. Wait, exactly.
Yeah. So it's all.
So for me, I would say yes, but with a caution, in the sense that don't go looking for pornographic material to introduce into your marriage. Because once you do that, because I personally believe that pornographic materials are demonic. And when you bring that into your marriage room, you are going to you are going to open the door. You know, because now you are going to let your wife begin to act like somebody you see on a TV. And if they are not able to do it, and I think Pastor Nana mentioned it the last time, when you gain weight and all of that, your husband can carry. There are some positions you can't do based on your physical structure. Don't try it, or you get stuck.
You break yourself.
One day I was flipping through TV channel, and I came to a channel, things that take people to the ER.
Oh my God.
And you'll be surprised that some of the people who ended up in ER was a sexual accident.
Wow.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Oh, you see that?
Okay, tell us now. Pastor Nana, who is a nurse, tells that they see that all the time.
Oh my God.
You know, sexual accidents. Somebody breaking somebody's penis, somebody getting stuck, and all of that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so Pastor, now I want to ask this. So now that we know that some of these things are not sin, what are some of the benefits of having sex? What are some of the benefits of having sex?
There's a question before you go on that.
Okay.
Let's see what the question is. Somebody says, so let's say during intercourse with one spouse, the partner states that he or she is hurting the individual. Will you say that something in the past is creating a block between the married couple? How will someone break out of that block and barrier? Well, I think that's a good question.
Is it a physical hurt or
exactly.
emotional hurt?
So the question here is this: is it a physical hurt or emotional hurt? You want to come in before I
yeah, come in.
What was the question?
The question is, so let's say during intercourse with one spouse, the partner states that he or she is hurting the individual. Would you say that something in the past is creating a block between the married couple? How would someone break out of that block or barrier?
It sounds to me like
it's
emotional. It's emotional. From what they're saying, it sounds to me like an emotional hurt.
Okay.
That I believe we spoke about in the past. We need to resolve that because that can be a stumbling block in the couple enjoying each other.
Yeah.
You know.
So
that needs to be dealt with through both of them talking or seeking a third party, which is maybe their pastor or counselor or somebody like that, to resolve that. Because there may be an issue of rape in the past. Yeah. There may be an issue of abuse in the past that is causing. I've seen that even women coming in to have babies or coming in for checkups where once you're ready to do the checkup, do the vaginal exam, they don't want you to touch them.
Wow.
You know, and then after, you know, careful interview, you find out that there's been something like that in the past, and that's why they're afraid.
Okay.
You know, and with women like that, even childbirth is hard.
Wow.
Even getting the baby to come out is a big deal because they have an emotional and physical trauma, like post-traumatic stress disorder, that is preventing them from actually letting the baby out.
Wow.
So this is a very serious thing that needs to be dealt with. Either, in this case, the couple cannot handle this. They need a third party.
Yeah. So you need counseling if it's an emotional thing stemming from, you know, abuse in your past relationship. Maybe you've been raped, defiled, you know, in your childhood, that has put some kind of block in your mind towards express that with your husband and let the person know. And I think if the person
That's
truly
medical.
cares, if the person truly cares about you, want to, okay, if this is a blah blah blah, you know, is it because of the position? Is it because of the style you guys are doing? But if it generally has to do with having an intercourse, then there could be some kind of medical situation that you both have to go talk to a doctor and see what it is, and then maybe they can help you medically. So it could be a medical issue, but if it's just you just feeling uncomfortable with a particular position or style that you guys are doing, then you have to talk to your spouse. And if your spouse loves you and wants you to enjoy the sex act, I'm sure they will understand, and then switch to something else that makes you more comfortable, because the goal is for you to enjoy it.
Okay.
And it also may be something as simple as the woman being dry.
Yeah.
Which in that case, you can introduce some lubrication.
Yeah.
You know, some water-based lubrication like KY jelly.
KY jelly.
Or maybe
I
more
think everybody
foreplay.
have to get one.
More foreplay
Yeah.
can also help for relaxation
Yeah.
and comfort.
Yeah, and personally, I think one of the things actually the men have to know that the way it takes them is totally different from the way the woman's, you know, coming. And sometimes it's just like they just pump in, finish, and they're done. You know, some of them will even be snoring on you, and they are done. You know, once the woman doesn't even know what have just happened. You know, so I think if it's going to be very enjoyable, then we have to prepare each other, you know, for the season. But
And Bishop, thank God for you, and I know the people that are receiving marriage counseling from you are getting a great start, because like you mentioned last week, Pastor, that especially in our culture, they make sex a duty.
Yeah.
You must please your husband.
Yes.
And that's it, whether you like it or not. And that's all they tell you.
Yeah.
They don't really tell the man that, okay, it takes some time for the woman to get to the place that you're at, and you have to engage in foreplay. It's an emotional experience for her.
Yeah.
You may have to start from the day before or the day off in the morning,
Yeah.
and work your way into the night or into the afternoon or whatever. So I believe that through this program that even our pastors that are watching will be able to give better counseling to the couple, so that this whole experience or this gift that God has given us can be pleasurable and satisfiable.
Yeah. Okay, Bishop. So, what are some of the gray areas of sex that need to be addressed?
Sometimes people ask, so when the woman is menstruating,
Yes.
the monthly cycle, can I have sex during that period? Okay. And again, it's stemming from what we've been taught. You know, some people can even use the Old Testament scriptures to banish you and tell you that when the woman is having menstruation, you cannot. Again, it also depends on the woman's body and the person you are dealing with. Number one, you have to understand the culture, the time, and the season that those instructions were given by Moses. Okay? Now, when the laws and those things were given, remember, it's for hygienic purposes. Because when you are menstruating, the possibility of you spreading disease, having disease, and all of that, it's possible, it's high. I mean, the nurses here can be able to tell us. But when it comes to religious purposes, the way they worshiped in those times was strictly based on blood, sacrificing, and this. So when you were menstruating, you were seen as unclean.
Clean, yeah.
They didn't have some of the sanitary things that we have today, the beautiful things that women have to take care of themselves, and they can even walk and you won't even know that they are menstruating. They didn't have it in those times. So when you were menstruating, it was a whole different thing, produced different kind of aura and things. So stay away, and anything that comes in contact with it was unclean. But today we not live under that dispensation no more. We are under the dispensation of grace. Christ has come to die and pay. So how we worship God, how we connect with God, is no more based on our physical act per se. And so you can't tell me that when you are menstruating and you have sex, it's wrong. No. There's absolutely nothing wrong if the woman is not bleeding in excess. And even that one, one of my mentors said something which really makes sense. Your husband has traveled for weeks and months. You guys haven't seen each other. And the time that your husband comes, you are menstruating and he misses you. Are you telling your husband to wait another 7 or 5 days for the cycle to be over before you get intimate? You can go to the shower and clean yourself up and then have sex and connect with your husband back. So for me, I think that the two of you can work it out if the two of you are willing, and based on the period and the time that you have started your menstruation.
Okay, Pastor Nana, what is
So
the medical
first of
aspect?
all,
Yeah.
menstruation is not a bad thing.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's really not. What really it is when a woman releases an egg during the ovulation,
Okay.
the body prepares itself for pregnancy. And in 2 weeks, when that doesn't happen, then the egg and everything else in the womb begins to, I'm just breaking it
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
Okay.
begins to break down and start over.
Okay.
So that's what menstruation is your body breaking down the egg and the womb, just sloughing it off,
Okay.
cleaning it out and starting all over to prepare for the next
Then
the next episode
So,
or
okay.
chance of pregnancy. So that's
Oh.
all it is.
So just cleaning your system is just to clean
It's
your
just, it's
system.
not even cleaning, it's just getting rid of it because to the body is old.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because the egg was not fertilized.
Okay. Okay.
So the egg releases into the tube and waits around for a sperm to come so that there can be a pregnancy. And at the same time, the womb is prepared to implant whilst the pregnancy has happened. It's like a soil, preparing a soil to put a seed in so you can plant something. And
Okay.
if that process doesn't happen, then God is so wise that he just starts the whole process over. Like he says, I can break down this pot and start over.
Over. Oh.
You know, so
okay.
that's what is happening. He's breaking everything down and starting over and waiting for the next time another chance of pregnancy.
Well,
So that's all menstruation is.
Okay.
Is starting over.
Okay. So
You know.
it's okay medically for the woman to have sex when you are
If she's comfortable.
Okay.
Because I know some women that actually are more horny when they're on their menses.
Okay. Okay.
That's
So-
them.
so it's-
That's what I said. We all have a different anatomy.
Exactly.
You know, and research even says that when a woman, whoever is comfortable with it, when they do have sex during the menses, it can actually reduce their cramps.
the cramps and the pain. Yeah.
Especially when you have an orgasm, you have your womb or your uterus contracts.
Okay. Okay.
You know, so the whole pelvic area contracts when you have an orgasm.
Wow.
And with that process can reduce the menstrual cramps.
Yeah.
And sweetie, for me, I think that the religious grounds that people use to try, okay, sometimes you can see that maybe a woman is telling you that the way I feel, I don't think I want to. Then you and your husband will want to be able to understand each other. It's all in the context of love.
Okay.
But if we are saying these things on the grounds of religion,
Yeah.
then I think it's totally wrong.
Okay.
You know, the Bible said that if you are menstruating, you are unclean. Then don't come to church then.
Yeah.
Then don't touch your children. Then don't cook.
Yes. Because
If you can cook for me to eat and your food is not unclean,
yeah.
then I should be able to have sex with you and still not be unclean.
Okay.
Because you see, and what you have to understand, sometimes people take scriptures out of context. And when we don't understand how to, really explain scriptures, then we put ourselves in undue bondage, and it's all again ignorance.
Wow.
It's all again ignorance. So again, it's both of you comfortable. Number two, because, and I like another man of God said something very powerful, and that's my friend Bishop Dean Brown, and he said something, okay? He says that why will God put the sexual urge in your husband whilst you're having your menses?
Oh. Oh, it's God who put it there.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And if God put it there, and your wife is available, will you want? And some people, unfortunately, when their wife turns them down, and they are like, oh, I just want to have sex. They want to go somewhere. Again, when even that is not possible, that's where we say there are other alternatives of pleasuring each other. And when you don't understand this, it can create tension. Somebody says something, and I think last week you even pick up on it. When a man wants to have sex and is denied, when they wake up the next morning, they are very angry.
Yes, for no reason, because of sex.
No, not for no reason, for a very unfortunate reason that they've been denied and bounced the previous night.
It killed their confidence.
Exactly.
It's like, if I was a man, why was I denied? It killed their confidence. So if you want your husband to really have confidence, I think it's good that you don't deny themselves. It's very, very important. What are some of the areas again, the gray areas? Pastor Nana, do you have any gray areas you want to talk about on sex?
I mean, if you have, I can bring this up. The other one is people being afraid to have sex during pregnancy.
Okay, yeah. Pastor.
So
You are the next. Educate us here.
That's good.
there's absolutely, okay, so the research says that some women are very horny, for lack of a better word, during pregnancy.
Yes, that's
And
true.
some women are the opposite.
Okay.
And every pregnancy is also different.
Yeah.
There will be one pregnancy where the woman wants to have sex the whole time, and there will be another pregnancy where they just don't want to have sex the whole time. So it all depends
On what is going
on what is going on, the hormonal changes that is going on. However, there's absolutely nothing wrong to have sex during pregnancy.
Okay.
It actually helps the baby to come out quicker.
Oh, okay.
There's a chemical in the sperm that towards the end of the pregnancy helps to soften up the cervix so that it can dilate quicker.
Wow.
And also when a woman has an orgasm, she releases oxytocin, which is the hormone that gives contractions.
Wow.
So that's one of the things we tell the woman towards the end of the pregnancy when the baby's not coming, go home and have a lot of sex. Have sex every other day.
And the baby will come.
And the baby
You
will
see,
come.
there's
So
a
there's
lot of-
nothing wrong with that. However, there are some cases where the woman cannot have sex. If there's an issue, for example, if the placenta is very close to the opening of the cervix where the baby is going to come out from, you cannot have sex because that can cause bleeding and can cause,
Medical,
something bad to happen to the baby. So there are one or two reasons why you can't have sex, and that we explain. And even that they're still coming having sex anyway. And then when you ask them, did you do it? No, miss, no, miss. And then you come back and you're like, are you sure? Okay, miss. That happened. So they still do it anyway, and they're not supposed to. But there's one or two reasons why you can't do that. But on the normal, if everything is going well with the pregnancy and there are no issues, then you can have sex even till the day of delivery.
Exactly, my research is what she has just said. And I feel strongly that, again, if it's for the purposes of medicine, you know, some people go through, you know, difficult pregnancy, especially during the initial stages of the pregnancy. When they took in the seed, they are nausea and they don't feel comfortable in their own skin. So during that period, they may not desire the sex as the man wants. And this is where husband and wife have to sit down and have proper communication. And I believe last week we said about it, that you can't enjoy a healthy sex life without proper communication. So when you are feeling that way, don't just block your husband out and oh, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to do it, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, here we were a week ago, a month ago, some period ago, we were all over each other. And then suddenly, your husband is going to think, what's going on here? Take your time and explain to your husband what you are going through in your body. This man loves you, this man cares for you, and will understand.
Okay.
And if it's something that you can work through the process, and sometimes some of these things, both of you can work through the process. That's where the caressing, coming together, holding hands, showing affection can even help you ease the pressure and the tension and what you are going through, and be there with you to go through the process. And sometimes those happen through the first trimester of the pregnancy. And by the time you get to the second trimester, you are even better. And that's where sometimes some people may desire it more and even want it more and all of that. It's all, again, through communication. However, there's nothing that forbids you that says that when you are pregnant, you can have sex. When you are normal and you're healthy and you are okay. And like she said, you can even do it to the last day of delivery. Wow. Again, it's all based on how you feel as a woman. Is your body okay? And is the baby seated well in you? There are some pregnancies that is known as a high-risk pregnancy.
Yeah.
That if you are doing too many active things, you can even miscarry the baby.
Yes.
And those are some of the things that you both have to talk about and look at. And with the advice of your doctor, you know what to do, what's comfortable for you, what's healthy for you, and you should be fine.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you all of you for watching. I can see all of you watching. I've noticed that you are watching. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful that you are watching. Thank you. Awesome for watching. So what I read that it's even help, like says it's even help with your immune system. And I know that our immune system is what really make us do everything. Once your immune system is broken, I mean, you are on your way to the grave. So if sex help with to boost your immune system, then this thing is very important.
Yeah, it actually gives you the ability to make antibodies against bacteria.
Wow.
So that's why it boosts your immune system, so that if any bacteria is coming to attack you, your body already has the defense system against it.
That's very
And sex
interesting.
produces that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Then I think those who have sex every day, they are very strong and very healthy. I mean, this is that aspect. I don't know. I just read that it's help with your immune system, but if it produce antibodies, then this is just very
I think
powerful.
Pastor Nana should give us more benefits of sex. Please
Yeah, so let's do
give
some
us-
of the benefits,
Yeah.
please. Let's do that, because I think it will help somebody. Sometimes we're talking, it's like, okay, you want to have sex, I don't want to bother myself. But maybe when people get to know the benefit, it will encourage them to do. So what are some of the benefits?
So also, sex is a natural painkiller.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
A painkiller.
Painkiller. Those of you who are pumping in every 2 minutes, Tylenol, every 2 minutes, Brufen, Advil, and all those things, go and have sex, and the pain will go. Okay.
So pretty much what it does in that case is that it releases that oxytocin, that same medication that is the hormone that is a love hormone.
Yeah.
It's also a natural painkiller.
Okay.
Wow.
And also releases endorphins. And these two hormones that come together can act as a painkiller.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's
You
awesome.
see, that's why they have those songs that says that you're my nurse, and
Yeah.
that song.
Mm.
You know
Yeah.
that song I'm talking about.
There's a song somewhere.
You're my nurse, and
Yeah,
you make when I have a cold, and you make me feel better.
There was
and all
a song that was some time ago, and I was asking that what's the meaning of this online? How can somebody be your nurse? Or it
Oh.
says that if I
Let's
don't
send
have
you
you,
to
I will
back to
have a
health.
heart attack or something.
Hey, I see.
That's very, very important.
So,
What is
so
the
that's
nurse?
that's
Okay.
what it is. Also helps to reduce our blood pressure because it's a form of exercise. Just
Okay.
like how your doctor will tell you if you go to your doctor, your
Mhm.
doctor tells you you have high blood pressure or you have high sugar and wants you to eat well and exercise. That's the same way. It's a form of exercise.
Wow.
So it will help to dilate your blood vessels to bring your blood pressure down.
Yeah, because I
Wow.
read that it's like if you have 30 minutes session of sex, you lose about 70 to 150 calories, which most of us who go to the gym, it's not even guaranteed to you. You just go, you just go, then
you
the
only burn like
treadmill.
100 calories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like one candy. So if sex can help you to do that, that's very, very important. That's awesome. Okay, let's go.
And also people that actually work out, go to the gym and work out, have a better sex life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason, you also release the endorphins as well when you work out, and also increases your testosterone,
Okay.
which makes you more sexual, I guess.
Okay.
So it's
Alright.
also good to actually work out if you can.
Yes.
Slip in some workout.
Okay.
It also boosts your libido.
Mhm.
Meaning that the more sex you have and the more enjoyable it is, you want to have more.
Yeah.
Okay.
For women, it makes us feel good about ourselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That, oh my
Self-confidence.
God, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Something is special about me. And
Okay.
it makes you want to engage more into sex. So
It makes you also feel youthful, though. You
Yes.
know, sex has a way of psychologically making you feel youthful. I've seen movies and I've even heard of stories where an elderly person, what we call sugar daddy, goes to look for a young lady,
Yeah.
and this young lady start having wild sex
Yes.
with an old man, and the old man feel like rejuvenated,
like
excited about
I'm in
life.
my 40s again.
Yes. And they start changing their dressing. They want to wear jeans. They want to wear sneakers. It has a way of psychologically boosting
Yeah.
your morale. You feel like you are youthful again. So and that's why you see there are young guys in their 40s who are not having sex. And they look like they are 60. They're like 70. Their life is boring. It's not exciting. And for me, I think that you should not be 40 and looking like you are 70.
Yes.
And a 70-year-old man is looking like 30
Yeah.
around you. It's a shame.
It is.
And I believe that sex is one of the things that can rejuvenate your life. It makes you productive. It makes you, it gives you sound mind.
Wow.
That's my saying. But
I agree.
and there's another thing, Siri, one of the great areas that I want to touch on, sex during church activities,
Like fasting.
like when we are fasting or the church is having a program, somebody will say that because we have this convention going on, I don't want to have sex. Or we having fasting, so I don't want to have sex. Okay, watch this.
Meeting.
Let's sit down and look at this again. Okay. Paul says something, and I've counseled people. If you are a member of our church and your husband is not saved, and your husband hasn't come to church with you, and we are having, let's say, 21 days prayer and fasting, and your husband comes home and says, I want to have sex with you, my friend, you quit that fast and go and have sex with your husband and keep peace at your home.
Oh, yes.
And afterwards, you can continue with your fast. Here's what the Bible teaches us in the book of 1 Corinthians, I believe chapter 7. It says that the only time the two of you should abstain from sex is during the time for prayer and fasting. And that one you do with a consent.
Yeah.
So if you haven't spoken with your ungodly or unsaved husband, that, honey, the church, we are having 21 days prayer and fasting from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. During that period, I can't have sex. So please excuse me whilst I wait on God. And your husband understands. Then you have the right to fast for 21 days, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. After the 6 p.m. and you are broken your fast, you can have sex.
Yeah, Bishop, because once you are here, I mean, people see that if you are doing 21 days,
Mm-hmm.
and it's even 6 to 6,
Mm-hmm.
after 6, they still feel that they can't have sex because they are still kind of in a fasting mood. I'm going to, you understand? So it's the whole, a lot of people,
Yeah.
the whole 40 days,
Yeah.
the whole 30 days, the whole 21 days, starving their own believer husband, and the time you fast, whatever you pray for, will have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And now,
And-
whether
and-
your fast
yes.
was productive
Or not productive. You don't want to finish fasting, and then now you are finished fasting. You don't have a marriage no more. Your home is broken. That's why we use wisdom. And the fasting here is the 6 to 6. You're skipping 2 meals. You eat one day. After that, you go and have your sex and perform your spousal duties to your husband or to your wife. Okay? It's good when the two of you are Christians and you both agree that, you know what, we mean business with God. So during this period, or if you are fasting 21 days non-stop, and let's say for 21 days you are not eating, you are not drinking water, and or you are drinking water only, and you say you want to abstain, discuss that with your husband. And if the two of you consent, fine. Then let's come to an agreement. And even that one, the Bible says that if you can't, let the devil take advantage of the two of you. You don't want devil to take advantage of something that is supposed to be beneficial. Then now it creates a problem in a marriage. Okay? So again, use wisdom. If it's 6 to 6, then after the 6, hey, you can have sex. All right? 21 days. If you're fasting 21 days, 6 to 6 is when you are fasting. After that, you can have sex. I don't see anything wrong with that. There's a question.
Actually, yeah, we have to answer it before you finish.
Open marriage.
Open marriage concept where a couple invite a single person to engage in intercourse and even a relationship with each other. Explain the consequences of engagement, engage in sex practice. It's a sin. It's a hell.
It's an abomination. It's demonic.
It's demonic.
That's where now
That's
Hebrews
acceptable.
chapter 13 comes in, verse 8, the bed undefiled.
Yeah.
Verse 3, I believe so. The bed undefiled. When you introduce a third person into the marriage, it's no more marriage.
Ah.
You're committing adultery. Okay? You're committing adultery. I don't care whether the person is a single or married. You are committing an adultery. There's nowhere in the Bible where the Bible teaches us as Christians to bring third people, fourth people, open marriage. There's nothing like open marriage. Show me in the Bible where there is open marriage. There's nothing like open marriage.
Yeah.
So please, don't bring nobody into your marriage. It's between you and your husband.
That's it.
So it's a no-no, it's unbiblical, it's ungodly, it is evil.
Yes.
And we've seen people who have done that where it has always led them. Okay? Because if myself and my wife, we have a covenant relationship before God, and God recognizes that marriage, why should we go and bring a third person into the marriage?
That's not acceptable.
It is you opening up a door for the devil to come
Yes.
to destroy your home.
Yeah, and a lot of people are doing this, okay? And it's very, very sad. If somebody is doing something, don't think because they are doing it, it's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if your neighbor is doing it, just let them do it. That does not mean it's right, because just things like this are not right. And you see people doing it, you see couples doing double dating and all those foolish things. It's just not right. You can't do that. It's just not right.
No, I think she wanted
Yes,
to contribute.
please.
You
Yeah.
wanted to contribute too.
In terms of this,
Yes.
Yeah.
it just opens up a whole can of worms, and it brings about a whole bunch of emotional issues, and it's just
It's just
I don't
yeah.
know the word to use to describe it. It's not cool. It's not something
Yeah.
you wanna entertain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Our time is up. Thank you. Next week we'll be in New York, but we'll still do the show. Next week we'll talk about some of the things that weaken our sex life, and I think maybe we can let Pastor come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, on
Via
the phone
video.
or something, or via video, because she have to really tell us, you know, medically and all those things. Some of the things that really weakens, you know, our sexual drives and life and everything. But Pastor, what is your last word concerning what we spoke about today?
I like I said before, this is a very beautiful session that we're doing now, and just to get people to start getting comfortable.
Yeah.
I know it's going to take a while, but
Yeah.
this is to get people of God to start getting comfortable that sex is okay. Sex was created by God, and sex is a gift to us as married people, and we shouldn't be afraid. We should have conversations with our spouses to get comfortable, and let's try new things. Let's try new things.
Yeah.
Aside from bringing the third person in, try new things that's going to spice up your marriage. Amen.
That's awesome. Bishop.
Yeah, I think we couldn't even finish all the gray areas. Maybe next week we'll touch about it.
Yeah.
And talking about sex toys and all of that, whether it's
Yes.
allowed or unallowed. And you see, again, just to touch a little bit on that. I have issue when a single person goes to buy sex toys to be masturbating and doing all of those things. Again, those things at the end of the day, when you get married, I've seen people who don't want to marry. Oh, I don't need no man.
Because-
And all they are doing is that they bought sex toys and they are using that to sex themselves. Sex was not meant.
Call Bob.
Okay, sex was. You,
Call it Bob.
no, that's her job. So she have all. She
They
understand.
tell me things.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Now watch this. When you do those things, okay, sex was never meant to be had alone. So when you see a man go to stand in the bathroom masturbating himself, and on all of that, that's why when you have a conflict with your wife,
Right.
instead of going to humble yourself and do this thing, you go and stand in your bathroom and masturbate and not have sex with your wife. God is watching you. It's an
Watching.
evil thing. Stop it. Okay? And maybe next week we'll get into that. However, when the two of you are married and you are trying to spice things up in your bedroom, whatever you do to bring excitement is between the two of you. Okay? Again, I will not tell you what I do or what I don't do because I don't owe you that. However, I will teach you the word of God and I will tell you what are you comfortable with.
Yes.
And my place is to stand on God's word. That if you are using God's word to try to rob yourself of what God having said or what God has said and you are not doing based on ignorance, I will correct that. Because I believe that I have some firm knowledge of God's word. And don't make the Bible say what he hasn't said.
Yes. That's
And don't make the Bible not to say what God has said and yet you are making not to say it.
Yeah. It's
All right?
very, very, very important.
So let me leave it there.
Thank you so much once again for joining us today. What a blessing! What a blessing! I thank my guests that came in. You see, last week and this week is I'm getting better. Your host don't even want to talk about this thing. Can you imagine? But I'm getting better. But it's very, very important. It's the glue, okay? Sex is the glue that glue you and your husband together. And you don't want that glue to come out. I think that if it's a sin and if it's what we are making it to be, then God will not ask us to even marry it in the first place. But God created it for us to have fun, for us to have children, for us to do whatever we have to do. And you really, really want to protect that. So next week, we are going to talk about some of the things that you don't want to do because when you do it, it's just weaken your sex life and things that you can do that can also spice it up, being too much overweight and all those things. Is there any exercise you can do that will help you and all those things? There's some food, because I know there are some food when you eat, it's help to build your sexual drive and all those things. So next week we're going to go in deep into it and we're going to look at all those areas. But thank you so much for joining me. Please continue to share the video with somebody, tag somebody to come in. If you miss it, please go to YouTube. It will be there for you to watch it. Just look for my name, Victoria Krepi. Did we change it to Victoria Krepi? Yeah, Victoria Krepi and Woman of Influence. It will be there. All the shows are there. You can watch it. Thank you so much once again for joining me. I'll see you next week. God bless you.